Let's make a Rook piece using a radial array and a subdivision surface modifier. Download or draw a silhouette of a Rook chess piece. Then open up Blender and delete everything in the scene. Hit numpad 1 to enter front orthographic view and tap Shift A for the Add menu. Go to Image, then Reference, and select your reference image. Go to the Image Data tab and set it to front for both depth and side. Check Only Axis Aligned so that it is only visible when in front view, and check opacity, sliding it down pretty far. Back in the viewport, add a cube. Change its dimensions on the Item tab to be 6 centimeters. Press Ctrl A and apply its new scale. Then tap G followed by Z to move the cube on the Z axis until it rests on the floor plane. Change the transform pivot to 3D cursor. Select the image and tap G to grab it, and Z to lock it to the Z axis. Move the bottom of the reference to the floor plane. Use S to scale it down to match the cube's height. Go to the Scene tab and under Units, use metric as the unit system and millimeters as the length. Now select the cube and tab into Edit mode. Tap 1 on the top row for vertex selection and press A to select all vertices if they are not already. Tap M for the Merge menu and select Merge at Cursor. You should be left with one vertex from which to extrude the rest of the shape. Tap E followed by X to extrude to the widest point of the base. Now, Control right-click at the wide and narrow points of the silhouette to create the basic shape. Ensure that these vertices are scaled to the center by selecting them and scaling to 0 on the X-axis. Switch the pivot back to median point. This menu is also available as a pie menu, accessed by tapping period. Now let's add some more geometry to our curved segment by right-clicking and selecting Subdivide. Adjust these vertices to match the silhouette. Select all and tap F to fill with one big n-gon. Tab out of edit mode, go to the Modifier Properties tab, and add a screw modifier. 16 steps will be enough, and check Merge with a value of 0.001. Next, let's add a Boolean modifier. We will need a second object for this, so add a small cube and position it at the top of the Rook. Scale it down to a shape like this, and apply its scale. Tab into Edit mode, tap the number 3 on the top row for face selection, and Alt-click on one of the long edges to select the central face ring. Tap Alt-E and select individual faces. Bring them out past the edges of the Rook. The two objects should intersect where the arrow slots should be. Select the Rook, and on the Boolean modifier, click the eyedropper. Click the X-shaped object, making it the Boolean cutter. Once you like where it is positioned, tap M to move it to a new collection. Then disable the new collection in the outliner. After selecting the Rook again, add a Bevel modifier. Adjust the amount to something less than 0.5 millimeter with 2 segments. If at this point you see weird geometry around the cutaway area, change the angle of your screw modifier to -360 degrees. The last modifier to add is a Subdivision Surface modifier. The shortcut for this is Ctrl 2. Right-click and select Shade Smooth. Now we need to fix these errors around the inner side of the parapet by converting some n-gons to quads. Click this arrow on the screw modifier and click Apply. Do the same for the Boolean modifier. Now tab into Edit mode and tap K for the knife tool. Cut from this corner across to here. Right-click and do the same to the other side of the arrow slot. Tap Enter. Do the same for the other similar n-gons, and again for the few around the outside. Now you can name the object as Rook by pressing F2 and delete the reference or move it to a disabled collection. And that's it for the Rook. Now use what you've learned in this video to make the bishop. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, this has been Carl with Blender Forge. Happy blending!